Before we start on the Grand Geralt, let me explain in detail what this mini-series will be. I'm reviewing each character that appears in the books in the order that they appear, then comparing them to how Netflix did in portraying them. Also, as an added bonus, I'm going to show how the Hexer and CDPR did with those characters. Now that we got that out of the way, let's cover the big man himself, literally. Geralt of Rivia, or Rivia. So let's start with the easiest one, appearance, from top to bottom. Obviously, we'll start with the hair. Check, it's great. The color is correct, since Geralt lost all his pigments when he went through the Trial of Grasses. But I want to add that they are missing a key feature. What is it? The headband. Yes, frankly, it's not mentioned in the first book, but later, before THICC, Yennefer says this.
Stop tugging your doublet and flattening your hair.
You wouldn't let me wear a headband.
Your headband's pretentious.
The Hexer did it when he had to fight the Wyvern here. And other Witchers, plus some bandits, wore one too. How else do you expect to keep their hair out of their face? See, Netflix? It wasn't that hard. Let's fix this. Next up, eyes. All right, check, they're a pretty good pass. Now, it's mentioned multiple times in the books that when the boys went through the Trial of Grasses, their eyes changed into vipers.
Finally came the seventh day. The male awoke and opened his eyes, and his eyes were as those of a viper.
Now, it's not mentioned the color. True, I've looked. But in these photos, we could state that the yellow is a pretty common color for viper snakes, you know. And it does look really cool. So, now CDPR did an excellent job at this, and so did the Hexer. What CDPR did was just keep Geralt's eyes slitted. They never dilated, and even after taking a potion. Whereas with the Hexer, they did change from slits to normal pupils, and they even dilated it properly when he took a potion. It's so cool. It would have been neat to see Netflix do this, change out the contact lenses or whatever, but they just kept it the same. And the color is kind of off. It looks weird on Henry Cavill, the actor.
I realized I messed up Henry Cavill's name. In the interest of being as true to form as possible, I'll be re-editing this and future parts.
It looks weird on Henry
Cavill,
the actor. But, I mean, you know, change it a little bit, come on. I get it, fair enough. You do need your actor to see, so that's a pass. Now, on the topic of eyes, let's talk about what Netflix did to all Witchers. Like, to the TV show, to the anime, to everything. Why? 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 It doesn't make sense. It's stated in the books that the pupils get dilated to the edge of the iris, not the whole eye.
after drinking a mixture of banewort, monkshood, and eyebright, The face takes on the color of chalk, and the pupils fill the entire iris. A relief, as even the semi-darkness of dusk was too bright for his dilated pupils.
For you see, what difference does it make that your reflexes are faster, that your pupils become vertical slits in the sun, that you can see in the dark like a cat, and that you can cast whatever spells you know?
So it's kind of like this. As you can see, the Hexer did a great job with this. I got no idea who had the idea to do this to my Witchers, to Geralt. Kind of makes him look creepy and just doesn't make sense. Well, anyways, let's fix this. Oof. I think we can all address the rather large elephant in this room. Geralt, how are you so big? Why are you so big? You do not need to be this big. Witchers need to be fast. This is not fast. This is big. This makes no sense for a Witcher to be this big. He's eating Roach. That's the only way I can fathom that he can have so much protein. This doesn't make sense. Do you know how fast a Brookser?
There's a Brookser in the house.
A Brooksa is? He will not be able to keep up, okay? Also, do you know how much protein you need to have to keep this kind of physique going? Well, it's a lot. And I don't know whoever directed this show that says that Witchers have a lot of money. They don't, okay? If you read the books, then you know what I mean. Not only does Geralt need to be fast, but I like to have seen more magic. Sure, he does art in the show, like, twice. In the books, one of the first spells you see is Axii.
He quickly pinned his blade under his left arm, and with his right hand raised towards the guards, swiftly drew a complicated sign in the air.
I'll come by myself.
Repeated the stranger in his resounding metallic voice.
And it's so cool. It just would have been cool. For now, we need to fix this mess. Pretty good. A lot better. Let's keep our focus on Geralt's body. Ugh, no, no, no.
Be gone, fuck!
That's not what I mean, okay? I mean his clothes.
Why are you dressed like a sad silk trader? What?
Okay. I guess Geralt is going through an emo phase or something, because that's a lot of black. In the books, he does wear a black cloak, but when it comes to his leather gear, it's usually brown or dark brown. His shirt is just a typical undershirt. You know, just typical. They did get his studded gauntlets right, so that's a plus. But he still looks too bulky and weighed down to even move properly. And trust me, Geralt likes to be relaxed. He detests tight-fitting clothes.
This is a little tight.
Oto ta zbroja. Będziecie w niej do przysięgi. Rada Wiedźminów tak postanowiła. Nie wiem dlaczego. Nie mogę się ruszyć.
There's one part later in the books where he does spend quite a bit of money to buy a new jacket, but since it's too tight, and he's also fighting and chasing a Doppler, he rips it at the seams.
Supplies, a harness, equipment, and this new jacket.
The Witcher stroked the fresh, brand new leather of his jacket.
Oh, and at this part in the book with Yennefer.
The Witcher wanted to get tight, but couldn't. Instead, he found his doublet was under the arms.
Now let's focus back on the Hexer and their wardrobe compared to Netflix's choices. I much prefer the Hexer's wardrobe since it's much more loose and better coordinated. Plus, there's actual color. It's not just black. Now I get it, but Scarlett, you can't see blood and dirt on black. So, doesn't mean he's got all that money. Who thinks Witchers have money? They have money, but not a lot of money. He says it a few times to Dandelion at the Temple of Melitala.
I ride on, and I'm getting hungrier and hungrier. I ask around for work. Certainly it's there, but what work?
Then you'll go hungry. Unless you change your line of work.
And a few times he's asking for work only to be turned away. Even though there are monsters, some people just learn to live with them. Dandelion makes an excellent point.
It's worse with your trade. You witches, after all, deprive yourselves of work slowly but surely. The better and more consciously you work, the less work there is for you. After all, your goal is a world without monsters, a world which is peaceful and safe, a world where witches are unnecessary. A paradox, isn't it?
I'm going to put 2 videos down in the description that thoroughly dissect Geralt's unhistorical outfit. So, let's fix this, shall we? That wasn't so hard. A Witcher isn't a Witcher without this. Now, of course, this is CDPR's own version of the medallion, but if we go through the book,
The stranger reached into his jerkin once more and pulled out a round medallion on a silver chain. It pictured the head of a wolf, baring its fangs.
Netflix actually got it right, surprisingly. The Hexer and even CDPR got this wrong. I can understand why CDPR did it, because it looks cool. And it's visually much more appealing when it's in a video game, not to mention intimidating. And the Hexer's version kind of looks like a bad molding of CDPR's. So, yeah, anyways, good job, Netflix. What is a key feature of a Witcher? Got the headband, got the medallion. Oh, right. Their sword. Obviously, a Witcher always needs their sword as quickly as possible. Anything could happen at any time. So why are his swords on his horse? Hi, it's me. Interrupted myself. So they actually did a really good job making sure Geralt had his swords. He's even shown here carrying his swords when Roach isn't around. So, good job, Witcher, Netflix. That's good. Good job. So, I just want to add that in. Yeah. Okay, bye. Okay, let me change that. In CDPR's Witcher game, Geralt is always carrying both his swords. Makes sense, since Roach can't possibly be everywhere Geralt can be, right?
Hey, know how you always show up when I whistle? How's that work exactly?
Well, you're my human. Gotta be there when you need me. Yes, I'll be there for you, ooh, as the world falls down.
Still kinda strange. How you cross the ocean when I call sometimes, but then get hung up on the tiniest fence. What's that about?
What can I say? Everyone's got limits.
The same can be said with the Hexer series. Geralt is almost always carrying one of his swords. Same goes for Netflix Geralt. So he's got one on his back most of the time. So for this, it's a pass. And now, finally, since we got the looks out of the way, let's talk about Geralt's personality. I'm sure the Witcher schools went with the whole heartless Witchers from the locals to make them look more badass. I mean, yeah, you need to be pretty heartless if you're going to kill a succubus who's just out looking for a good time. In the books, he's a great listener and will wisely listen to every part of a story before coming to a decision. The best example is The Lesser Evil short story with Renfri and Stregobor. He carefully listened to both sides of the problem before coming to the conclusion of which was the lesser evil, which he didn't even want to be a part of. I'm going to put that in there. He didn't want to do that. He did it anyways. And you must agree that his decision was just. Even if the alderman was a little upset later. He doesn't really say that he doesn't have emotions in the book. Well, the first book anyways. But clearly he does. If you go back to the lesser evil part in the Last Wish book, when Renfri meets men mentions Geralt's mother,
Geralt grew a little pale and tightened his lips.
He's clearly upset by this insult. Another part that stands out the most for emotions is in Sword of Destiny, especially Shard of Ice, when Geralt and Istrid talk to one another about Yennefer.
Ale ja celowo mówię o emocjach Jen. No ty jesteś Wiedźminem i ty żadnych emocji doznawać nie możesz. Wybacz mi szczerość. Nie chcę cię poniżyć, ale ty jesteś mutantem. A jedną z cech tej mutacji jest pełna niewrażliwość na emocje. Takim cię stworzono, żebyś mógł wykonywać swój zawód. A to, co czujesz, jest tylko odbiciem emocji Jen, zainteresowania, które ci okazuje.
Skąd wiesz, że to nie są moje własne emocje?
Geralt, posłuchaj. Ja chcę dać Jen stabilizację, szczęście, dom, dzieci. Badam właśnie tajemnicę bezpłodności. To jest nauka, nie magia. Możesz jej to zapewnić? Nie, nie możesz. Włóczysz się za nią. To niepoważne. A za chwilę będzie śmieszne. Wiedźmin zaplątany w kobiecą suknię. To nie ten los. Nie twoje przeznaczenie.
I've been deprived of the ability to feel. Yes, I have been deprived of emotion, but not completely. Whoever did it botched the job. A word that doesn't express feelings. A word that doesn't express emotions. Because I am devoid of them.
So it's known to lots of wizards and witches that witchers don't have emotions. Say that 3 times fast. Let's go to CDPR, where Geralt says on numerous occasions that witchers don't have emotions.
Desperate fathers have been known to do a lot to find their daughters.
Unexpected from a witcher. I thought your mutations cleansed you of humanity, stripped you of emotions.
You don't need mutations to strip men of their humanity. I've seen plenty of examples.
I knew you cared about her. But your tone, the emotions you so carefully conceal.
Let's continue.
Yeah, okay, Geralt. Well, how do you explain these?
I love you.
Miss Marigold, we're casting off.
And I love you.
Yes, during the trial of grasses, the boys go through rigorous mutations and trials to even survive, which could alter their emotions. But not to the point of never crying or feeling love, which, yes, Witchers do love and cry. The only emotion that is truly suppressed is fear.
I've long wanted this, and am White Wolf.
No!
Of course, when you're trained and taught how to fight the monsters in that world, you don't have a lot of fear left. You know how to defeat it. Think smarter, not harder, with your heart. As for the Hexer, I really liked how the actor played Geralt. He was serious when he needed to be and was joyful, but not overly joyful. He didn't talk too much or express unneeded emotions when it wasn't necessary. It was a good medium. He was also super badass. Now, as for the Netflix version,
until a fucking rooster crows 3 times, and I can't fucking sleep! Bullshit. The fuck? You motherfucker goat. Firefucker. You're a dick. With ball. Your aim's gone to shit. Oh, fuck.
How do you do, fellow Witchers? What?
yeah. Okay, you get where I'm going. It's too much of everything. Talking, insults, showing emotions. It's just not the Geralt we know at all. Plus, he curses way too much. I'm not saying that Geralt is a saint or anything, but it's all he does in the show. It's like they dumbed him down and that's his only vocabulary. He has so much more to say. Times when he's silent, he curses.
Fuck.
Don't get me wrong. I know it's a TV show and they need the actor to, well, act. But the script for the Hexer has a great balance of dialogue and silence. Okay, let's fix this. Roundup time. I give Netflix Geralt 2.5 wines out of 5. Henry
Cavill
really likes being Geralt. He doesn't have control over the costumes or some of the lines. Yes, an actor can only do so much. So I can't really put him at fault. Tune in next time for a double feature, Foltest and the Striga. See you then.
Witcher, Fixer.
So why are his hordes, okay. What'd I do for my channel? Just kidding. I love my channel. Oh God, I hope it looks okay. I don't have a mirror. I think I'll do that one more time. That's kind of chaotic. Since, you know, That was so good. Why didn't I just keep reading? Sorry, technical difficulties. Okay. All right, serious face. Roundup time. My superhero now. Roundup time. I give Netflix. Oh, I need my wine glass. It's fine. I mean, makes sense since Roach can't possibly be. I got a frog in my throat. A ribbit.